Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel rod, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a quick, I won't say quick lesson, but this is part of a two-part lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. I was getting notifications all weekend from Newsweek, which is pretty much like a article-based app that goes into like particular situations in the government. As we know that this whole DOGE, which stands for the Department of Government Efficiency, which is spearheaded by the president, Elon Musk, which people were suspecting that Elon Musk is the real culprit behind today's Trump's administration, because we know that presidents are not elected, but they are selected. And the fact that Elon Musk comes from a family full of technocrats, and he's what they consider a non-elected official, it makes sense that he's spearheading a lot of the decisions that's being made by the elites on top to pretty much lay a particular, it's about a particular agenda that they want to accomplish, man. And while they're pushing this whole DOGE and we're investigating government spending of taxpayers' money, how billions of taxpayers' dollars were sent overseas to fund particular research and, to line the pockets of certain political candidates, and, they're living off taxpayer citizens. Like that's nothing new. Okay, since there has been what you call a republic, all right, which this place is basically it's really the Roman Empire all over again. But since we've had what you call democracy or fascism or a so-called republic, because this is not a democracy, it's really a republic, so not so-called. But ever since you've had a government, there's been nothing but corruption. Okay, even the Greeks, the Romans, they were all corrupt. Okay, so how much more today this current beast system, which is led by the biblical Idumeans, which is you so-called white people, you Edomites, starting with the elites of you people. Okay, it's been corrupt. So the whole concept of, we're laying off 15,000 employees at the IRS, and to the average tax-paying citizen, oh my God, that sounds good. That means that I'm going to get a break on my taxes. I'm not going to get audited, X, Y, blase, blase. No, man, has nothing to do with that. Okay, if you think that this guy Trump has, your best interest or his administration, then you're sadly mistaken. Okay, they're basically putting the wool over your face, man, because they're getting ready to do away with this system, and they're getting ready to set up a global technocracy, man. This is why the likings of Saudi Arabia, China is already on board. They've already 50 years in advance. Japan, Russia, all these governments, all these nations are on board with this new digital AI system, this beast system. Okay, they all are buying into this system, man, because that's according to Bible prophecy. So when you see IRS expected to lay off thousands, that's not to take the burden of reproach off you citizens, man. Because I've noticed since the pandemic came and left, there's been more audits and more people on the IRS than not within the last 5 years. And that's because they was taking your money, okay, and they was sending it overseas. So therefore you would get these fraudulent bills in the mail saying that you owe taxes and this and this and that, and that your taxes are going up, you underpaid, but yet you've paid 40% in taxes a year. They're sending your money overseas, but yet you have to pay the bill. Okay, it's the ultimate form of robbery. It's basically the mafia all over again, man. And I'm gonna show you how slick they got. I got a little testimony. Now, they sent me a bill in the mail in 2023, and they sent me a bill in the mail in 2024. And that bill in 2023, it dated back to 2018. I'm like, wait a minute, I paid all my taxes in 2018. All right, so that came to nothing. And then they sent me another bill in the mail last year saying that I owe $431. I'm like, how the hell do I owe $431? Like, what the fuck? I didn't even X, Y, and Z. So I was getting ready to pay that shit. But the spirit like, hey, nah, call them. So I called them. Took me about 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get through, because, they give you the runaround. And they ideally don't want you to talk to. They want you to get frustrated using those voice prompts. So therefore, you can just say, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to just pay these motherfuckers because they're going to keep coming after me. So when I finally got a hold of somebody, and then I talked to the lady, and I'm like, where the hell did this bill come from, man? I'm like, and then she looked it up. She said, you don't owe nothing for 2020. Well, technically you filed in 2024 this year. But she sent me a bill last year with the date on it, but I believe it was for a previous tax year. And I'm looking at this shit, and she like, you've paid that already. I'm like, okay, so why in the hell are y'all sending me another bill if I'm already paid it? She said, oh, well, it could just be a computer error. And I'm like, well, y'all sending a lot of computer errors out because a lot of people are getting these bills from you people, and they're paying you money and not getting none on the back end of it. You know, so that's the spirit. But I was getting ready to pay it because I'm like, wait a minute, man. But she said, you don't owe those years. You've already paid that off. You good. So I'm like, okay. So, you know, it's all fraudulent at the end of the day. But to say this, IRS expect to lay off thousands of employees. Sounds good, right? Because technically we know the IRS is not constitutional. Okay, it's not a corporation of the United States. It's a private owned entity, just like the Federal Reserve. You know, but yet people are pissed off, man, because they're losing their jobs, which shows you that we're going into a great reset. Where we're in the great reset, if that make any sense. You know, the system is breaking down on all levels, but it's being done systematically to the point people are going to starve out in order to opt into the new system. Okay, so it says here the Internal Revenue Service is preparing to lay off thousands of employees as soon as the next week, according to 3 familiar people with the matter, as the Trump administration pushes to dramatically shrink the size of the federal workforce. And his excuse of doing that is that, oh, it's too much government spending. All right, too much money is being mismanaged and taken away from the citizens, which this is not a bad thing, okay, to lay these people off, you know, and to put them back, you know, in hot water, so to speak. But it's a bigger agenda. But nonetheless, people are being laid off all across the board. They're taking these payoffs. But it says the Office of Personnel Management, the federal government's human resource department, ordered agencies across the government this week to terminate probationary employees who are relatively new to their positions and do not enjoy as much job protection. It says it was unclear on Friday exactly how many IRS employees will be affected by the order, but I seen something that says 15,000. So let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, that's 15,000 employees. I think that's just in general. But matter of fact, before I go here, let's do this. Community. Yep, it says the IRS is expected to fire as many as 15,000 employees as early as next week. It says anger and confusion take hold as federal workers face mass layoffs. So yeah, people are getting ready to feel the squeeze, man. And this is all done to opt you into this new technocracy to get that chip. And the apostle said it. They said they're going to start it in classes. They're going to start chipping people in classes. They're going to cut jobs. And in order to buy people back into these programs, they're going to offer this MOTB in classes, man. But it says an IRS spokeswoman did not immediately respond to the request for the comment, nor did a spokesman of the Treasury Department. But it says a sudden drop in the number of employees at the IRS can interfere with the agent's work to process millions of Americans' tax returns. But Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said in an interview with Bloomberg News last week that the department, which oversees the IRS, will limit changes until after tax season ends in the spring. But it says here, he says the IRS has dramatically grown its workforce in recent years, reaching roughly 100,000 employees after the Biden administration pushed to revitalize the beleaguered agency. It says the Republicans have long attacked the additional IRS personnel as villains who harass middle-class taxpayers, which is true, with President Trump targeting the agency for an extended hiring freeze and pushing to repurpose some of its agents to help with immigration enforcement. Because I remember 2 years ago, they sent articles out stating that they was going to weaponize the IRS agents to start going around with guns and collecting debts. Now, I'm not sure what came of it, but I wouldn't be surprised, even if it isn't mainstream, because we know now that things are getting ready to fall apart. Riots are getting ready to occur. People are getting ready to go to the streets. They're getting ready to protest. And then sooner than later, once these food systems are hit, that's when the chaos can fully begin, or to some degree. But it says here, Elon Musk's team of young software engineers and cost cutters have also taken an interest in the agency. But the members of the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, Gavin Kluger, arrived at the IRS headquarters on Thursday, according to people familiar with the matter. All right. So, yeah, man, this dude is laying off thousands of people, and not only the IRS, across different federal sectors as well. And this is why a lot of judges are pretty much trying to put a halt to a lot of the orders that Trump is mandating. But he's trying to go above the judges, man. Going above, he's trying to put out executive orders to override what the judges are saying. Because a lot of this shit goes before the Supreme Court. Like a lot of the funding that he's taken away from these particular woke programs. A lot of the shit went before court. And the judges are pretty much like, nah, y'all can't do that. So there's been several lawsuits against this administration. And it's only been 3 weeks. Going on the 4th week, man. All right, so Trump, man, this dude Trump is off the chain, man. But you know what, you people, it is what it is, man. All right, because this is really Yahweh Shai's way of getting back at you people for the injustices you've done to his people, man. Okay, but it says here, Isaiah 19, and I'm going to start at verses 3, and it says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards." Yeah, because people, they're on edge now, okay? Because like we read in the article, the IRS, the purpose of and this is the reason why you people have to understand that if you are a so-called middle-class citizen, which there's really no middle class, that's rich and poor. Okay, if you are a poor person, they have to keep you poor because in order for the rich to be funded and remain in power, they have to have a working class. So the working class will never get a break, because if they did, then the elites won't be able to profit off you, man. So that's why you ain't seeing the price of eggs go down. This is why rent is not coming down. This is why the cost of energy is going up. Okay, the cost of insurance, everything is getting more expensive, man, because they need you, the so-called taxpaying citizen, to fund their lifestyles, man. Okay, so they're not gonna do a soft blow to you people. They may give you some type of kickback. You may see prices gradually go down slightly, but nothing significant. Okay, because honestly speaking, since Trump got in office, I think inflation it went up by like 3.5% within 3 weeks. So just imagine 4 years of this madness, man. Why you people say, oh yeah, Trump gonna make America great again. Trump is getting ready to bring a civil war to this place, man. Because you got a lot of Republicans a lot of Republicans that's basically saying like, look, man, this dude ain't right. We got to get him up out of here. We didn't vote for this. Yeah, we told you people, man. We warned you and we told you straightforward that, hey, when this administration gets into power, things are going to start to take a turn for the worse. Okay, you thought this nigga was going to bring rent. You thought you was going back to paying $750 for a 2-bedroom apartment. Hell nah, man. Okay, they got you what you want. They got you where they want you. Because if that was the case, they wouldn't be setting up this new system. But they have to opt you into this system by despair and desperation. And you people are going to opt into it through desperation. So they're going to slowly take shit away from you, man. You know, and you people just going to walk your ass right down there and you're going to get that chip in your hand. All because you want to stay in your 1-bedroom apartment that you're paying $5,000 a month for to live in a fucking bedroom. And that's just the reality of it. All right. But it says here, and the spirit of Egypt shall fell in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsels thereof, and they shall seek to the idols. Yeah. The politicians, you know, people are going to TikTok. People are going to these spirit mediums, psychics. You know, you got women out there talking about, oh, yeah, I predicted the crash and whatever that in Washington, D.C. I seen it happen and all this other shit. OK, people are losing their damn minds, man. OK, it's to the point people are buying eggs in bulk because they get expensive. You know, like I went to the store 3 days ago, and I bought a carton of eggs and that shit was $6. And that wasn't even the organic eggs. You know, like I was able to go to Costco a while back and get the organic egg. I think I get like 24 in a pack, something like that for like, I think like $12, $13 or some $10. Now I think they want like 15 for like 18 eggs or some shit. It's just ridiculous. The cheapest source of protein out there is running your ass $10 for some eggs. You know what I'm saying? And that's ridiculous. And it says, "In the Egyptians I will give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, says the Lord, and the Lord of hosts." So is Trump that fierce king? Hey, maybe, you know, because I mean, every time I wake up and I look at the articles, man, he's cutting something out. He's cutting the program. He's cutting funding. He's doing this shit. Hey, next year, they say that whole Section 8 shit, that shit is over with. Okay? And I agree with it. We funding Section 8, you know what I'm saying? The child support and the federal taxes. I mean, not the federal taxes, but the food stamps, you know, the welfare. That shit coming out of our pocket. But yet we the ones that's affected the most by it, you know. So let's go here. I got an article. Matter of fact, I got this video here real quick. This is a termination of a federal employee
that was terminated due to the restructuring and cutting of federal funds. I was a USDA Natural Resource Conservation Service employee, or NRCS. I specialized in natural resource conservation and helping producers deal with issues that involved soil, water, and air quality, as well as erosion and access to fresh water and correct forage for their livestock. We helped farmers. My agency helps farmers all over the country, and we go into their property, assess the area, and see if there are anything that we can help them with, whether it's, a no-till situation, if it's, spraying for herbicides, if it's, an erosion sinkhole that's going to cause your cow to fall in and potentially lose a calf, or, it's eating away at your field and you want to put a drain pipe in. We go in, we help the producer, we make up a contract, and then we help assist the producer, not only make sure that it's input correctly, so that way they don't have this issue anymore, but we financially assist them. We reimburse them a percentage or cost amount that they sign for, so that the burden does not fall just on the American producer. This goes for anything large scale, your soybeans, your corn, your cotton, your wheat, or your large cattle operations, your dairy and beef. In Mississippi, which is the state that I currently work in, we deal a lot with small producers, people who grow stuff at your farmer's market. We love helping farmers. That is our motto. We love helping anyone and everyone who comes through our doors. I was let go or terminated or laid off, fired, whatever you want to call it, due to performance. Now, I am a probationary employee. You're always a probationary employee for the first 12 months of service in any federal job. I have nothing but outstanding performance reviews, and this simply is not the case. I was let go due to cutting of federal funds, and like I've mentioned, this does not affect the people who are sitting around and have been in government for 20 years and aren't doing their job and are sitting around doing nothing. No, we were boots on the ground, walking the field. We were busy every day, meeting deadlines, helping farmers, dealing with, client.
Well, that's how it worked. The slave is always taken advantage of and worked the hardest, and then the first to let go. Okay, without a working class, this place don't exist. There was a table. I saw it was how sometimes brothers have little memes and stuff like that. There was a table and they had the elites at the table with all this money on top of it. But when you look at the bottom, it was the poor people holding the table up while the elites were speaking on all this wealth and collateral and all this other stuff, man. And ultimately, you people are the collateral. Okay? Slaves. That's why it tells us in Revelation 18, it says the slaves and souls of men, roughly paraphrasing it. Okay, slavery is what caused this place to become as lucrative as it is. In exchange for that, they gave you people debt, because out of all the wealth, the land, the cattle, the livestock, the gold, the silver, the precious jewels, the earth, the particular resources of the earth, that's real money. You know what I'm saying? The elites harbored all that, and in exchange, they gave you what they call a legal tender, which is a greenback, which is not being backed by anything. And you people are fighting over that shit. The fact that your money isn't being backed by gold, you should have been hunting these elites in the streets, man, and doing away with their corporations. Okay, because the corporations are the reason why a lot of you people are in this shit. You have NGOs being funded by your tax dollars. non-governmental organizations that's carrying out billions of dollars of research on nothing while your ass is stuck with the bill and you can't pay, and then they'll lock your ass up. But you people have been so brain dead to what's in front of you by putting TV and reality shows and, you know, these so-called luxury apartments, which these apartments are not luxury at all. Okay, all these new developments they're building up across America and in these cities and shit like that is all the same shit, all the same plan. Like I checked out some cribs last week and they were nice, but it's all cheap shit. And every apartment or fucking whatever you want to call it, condo, whatever you want to call it, apartment, luxury living, it's all the same shit. It all had the same thing in it, man. You know, and I'm like, I'm not finna pay no fucking $2,000 to live in a 525 square foot just because I got a fucking stainless steel deep freezer. Like, get the fuck out of here. But yet they put all this glamorous shit in front of you people, and you people have been lost and you've been totally deterred from what's really in front of you, man. Okay, if you people was in the right mind, that would never be an IRS. That should never be a child support system. You should never be paying. Y'all should have been caught on to this shit. Now it's too late. Because you got GMO all in your gut, man. All right. But it says, here, and I will give the Egyptians over to the hand of a cruel Lord, and the fierce king shall rule over them, says the Lord of hosts. And we're seeing that. And it says, and the water shall fail from sea to sea, and the river should be wasted and dried up. Yeah. You know, going into your substance, to your livelihoods. And sooner or later, all these jobs are getting ready to get cut. They even mentioned, they said, look, this dude, Noah Yuval Harari, he said it. He said, look, man, honestly speaking, no, Bill Gates said it. He said, look, AI can replace pretty much all these jobs that we're doing. He said, but we don't want to sit around and watch AI play football or baseball, meaning that you people are going to be used for physicality sports. But your job as far as being a bus driver, a school driver, they have automatic driving cars now. You know what I'm saying? Automation, dock workers. This is why they went on strike a couple of months ago, you know, to do away with the automation stuff. You know, nurses, you can have a fucking computer to talk to you and tell you your diagnosis. They don't need no damn nurse. While you black women are on TikTok, so I'm a traveling nurse. No, you a traveling whore. That's all the hell you are. But anyway, let's go back.
Appointments to try to get it right. And this is going to fall on the consumers of agriculture products, which is everyone in the world who wants to eat, and your producers. So if you know someone who gets federal assistance through FSA, the Farm Service Agency, they lost a lot of people just because they were new hired. This is the Animal and Plant, the APHIS Department of Agriculture. I've seen the Forestry Commission, so anyone who produces mass amounts of trees for, timber, they're affected. We help a lot with timber as well, which we were already all short-staffed, and you just cut everyone. There was one girl left in her office now. One. She can't go to these farmers' places of operation and maintain an office, so therefore, farmers will go without. Farmers will not get the assistance. They will not be able to fix these problems, which will only get worse. And it's going to fall on us as consumers and burden the agriculture community. And it's not being reported in the news just how far-reaching that this mass layoff was. Sure, everyone wants to believe that this is the bogus and the ridiculous agencies that are being cut. No, this is the USDA. These are the people who grade your food. Check your food. Make sure your food is, in good.
But the USDA is just as corrupt too, though. What are you talking about? You check the food and you grade the food. And if you were doing a ample job or adequate job, half the shit that we eat wouldn't even be allowed to pass for consumption, because 99% of the food supply here is totally tainted, man. So what the hell you mean? You are corrupted. Half the shit that we eat is not supposed to even be going in your system. Bro, the American ingredients are banned in damn near every European country, damn near. Ketchup in Canada is not the ketchup in America, man. You go to McDonald's and you look at the ingredients of some fries. That shit got like 30 different ingredients in it. Dextrose, this, that, high fructose corn syrup. But yet you go to Europe, you got 3 ingredients: salt, potatoes, pepper. That's it. They don't have 50 different ingredients in a goddamn potato. So what the hell you mean that the USD, you're just as corrupted. You, the FDA, okay, the CDC, all this shit is in tandem, man. Monsanto, Big Pharma, you know, which they say, oh, Monsanto closed down. They just under a different name. That's all it is. Just because it's not being called Monsanto anymore, you know what I'm saying? These big food corp, they all the same thing. They just named under different entities, man. And that's one thing about Amalek. Like, let's just say if Amalek, cause see, Amalek has what he call a trust. So if he gets sued, you just sue the trust. You know what I'm saying? That way you can't touch him. But he'll open up the same goddamn playbook and just put it under a different LLC or a different trust. And it's the same operator. It's the same people. You know, you people just don't know that. So it is what it is. People are
standing and hasn't been, you know, shot up with antibiotics because they are always withdrawal periods. This is everything. And it's not being reported. And it's going to fall on the agriculture producer. I loved my job. I hope they call me back to my job. My producers made my day. And I loved helping them. And you're cutting.
Man, shut up and go find a damn man. That's your fucking problem with you women. You like your jobs too much. Your job is to serve a man. Period. It's the problem when you give stupid people autonomy to do what the hell they want to do, and this is the result of it. Take your ass home and go find a man and serve him. That's your job. Your power is in your femininity, not how good you can work a fucking job.
People, I don't say you, but they are cutting people for just existing with no warning. This isn't doing what everyone thought it was. They're not cutting the people not doing their job, and they're not really cutting funding, because the two people that they laid off in my office have a salary of combined less than $100,000 a year.
Oh well.
Let's just think about that for a moment. So, if you feel inclined to support, you know, your USDA employees, and you want to call your congressman or your senator or write them a letter saying that the USDA employees are essential to farming operations, farming communities, and keeping food safe and available for all, I would appreciate it. As a previous USDA employee, as well as many of my colleagues, I'm sure would appreciate it, but I do not speak for the whole agency. I'm only here to inform the people that I know about the situation and how far-reaching it actually affected them.
Fucking black woman.
I hope that something changes, and I hope more information comes out, and I hope to be back helping producers the best way I can. But for now, I am moving on and trying to figure out life just like every other federal employee that was released, and is trying to navigate this very weird and odd situation with no information. So, thank you.
Well, I guess you got to open an OnlyFans account. Start putting them flat booty pics up like you ain't already doing that. Half you chicks, man, out there, you got jobs and you still hoeing on the side. Like, because you mismanage money. You know, you have a chick that have a $70,000 paying job. You know what I'm saying? Which is, you know, it's okay. You know, it ain't really nothing you can really have an extravagant lifestyle, but you can get by on that if you live right, if you manage your money properly. She'll make decent money a year and totally just fuck it all up, just buying shit. And then she realized, well, she got to sell her ass on the side and complaining to everybody. Well, ain't nobody tell you to buy $1 million house on a $70,000 fucking post office salary, man. What the hell wrong with you people? Like, people can, like, a lot of people don't need all the stuff that they got. It's simple, bro. You got your house, you got your car, you know what I'm saying? You got your entertainment, you know, your bills are paid, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, a little extra, how you put up and invest it. And then, you know, if you have a little extra on the side, you know, get you little shit to appease your spirit from time to time, man, and keep it pushing. You know, you got motherfuckers that's trying to buy, like my supervisor, for example. This motherfucker, she had this chick goes and get a 2025 Lexus. I'm like, what was the point? You just had a car, you know what I'm saying? She got 2 cars. I think she claimed she gave one to her husband. But regardless of it, it's like you had to go get a 2025 Lexus. Like, for what? Why can't you just settle getting a 2020 or 2021? You're paying damn near the same price. I mean, actually, you're probably paying more for the new one, of course, but still, it's just the point of having that entitlement. You see? Oh, I got a 2025 Lexus. I want to do this and that. And at the end of the day, you still empty inside. You still ain't living within your purpose. You still have this feminist mindset that can't nobody tell you shit. Because you driving around in the 2025, you think that's supposed to make men don't give a fuck about the money you women make. We don't care about that shit. An insecure woman would throw her accomplishments and you, well, I got this and that. We don't give a fuck about what you got, bitch. We don't care about that, man. And that's the part y'all don't understand. Anyway, this shit can't come quick enough, bro. You people deserve exactly what the hell you get. And I ain't mad. I pray you cut all these goddamn jobs. These state and the state agencies too. That's what the offense really is at. This child support shit. Hey, when that get cut, hey, a lot of you women, you literally gonna jump off bridges head first. And good riddance to you, man. Anybody that got their child's fathers on child support, may Yahweh Shemi Yahweh destroy you. All right. 2nd Esdras 8 and 50, it says, for many great miseries should be done to them that in a latter time should dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. You people are prideful as hell. Okay, you prideful in your titles. Oh, I work here. Oh, I'm an administrative assistant. I'm over the Department of Research, and I write contracts and government contracts, and I do this and I do that, and I'm above it, and I have to be at 3 different meetings on Monday, and I'm flying to Paris by Tuesday and eating brunch in Nebraska by Friday type shit. Like, fuck that, man. The Most High is getting ready to take away all these accomplishments from you people. And it says, for many great miseries should be done to them that in a lot of time should dwell in the world, because they have walked with great pride. Yeah, you people are extremely prideful. Okay, prideful to be the most low IQ people on the planet Earth. You are extremely haughty for nothing. You know, your path have been laid out. You Americans don't know what. I mean, some people work hard, give or take. But most of you don't understand that days of hard work, man. Especially you women. You women don't fucking work hard, man. Okay, you were given these jobs because you're a fucking woman. Now all that shit is going out the window. Hey, back in the kitchen you go. And you will like it there because that's where you belong anyway. Honestly speaking, your power is in your femininity. It's easier when you are actually a wife. All right? And I'm not saying you can't work because we ain't playing that. Oh, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. Fuck all that shit. You're going to work and put money in this fucking house like everybody else do. But you're going to still do your job as a woman. And that's just what it boils down to. Ain't none of that getting by because I'm a woman type shit. Nope. Clean my crib, wash the clothes, take care of the kids, and bring money in this fucking house if you want to stay here. If you don't like it, oh well. There's a street, there's a fucking sidewalk right outside the window, and you can happily make your bed in the street. And that's the time we coming into. We're not playing these goddamn games no more. All right, everybody want to come by and freeload off motherfuckers. Nah, we ain't doing that. Let's go here. Jeremiah 49. Is it 49 or 48? Yep, 49. And let's start at verses. Hold on. Yep. Jeremiah 49 and 31. And it reads, it says, arise and get you up into the wealthy nation that dwelleth without care. That's America. It says the Lord, which have neither bars nor gate, which dwell alone. It says, and their camels should be a booty, and the multitude of their cattle was spoil, and I will scatter into all the winds them that are in the utmost corners, and I will bring their calamity from all sides there, says the Lord. So eventually judgment is going to hit this place on all sides, man. And there ain't going to be nothing you people can do about it. So with that, I'm going to close out, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Shemi Yahweh. Lord's will, you are edified to the next lesson. Shalom.
Meantime, to the massive layoffs playing out today of government workers, thousands of them at multiple federal agencies, including the Department of Education, the CDC, and Veterans Affairs. And tonight, ABC News learning that hundreds were laid off at the National Nuclear Security Administration, the agency that maintains America's nuclear stockpile, before they were called back. Here's Mary Bruce.
Tonight across the country, tens of thousands of federal workers, from the Department of Education to Health and Human Services, from Veterans Affairs to the Department of Energy, suddenly told they are out of a job.
Last night I got an email around 9 p.m. Saying that my position was terminated.
In Greensboro, Georgia, Carly Arata worked at the Department of Agriculture.
I saw the subject of it and I kind of screamed. I didn't think it was real at first, so I reread it like 3 times and then kind of started crying because, yeah, I was relying on this job. My husband and I just purchased this house in December, and now we're not really sure what we're going to do.
In a meeting at the Office of Personnel Management, some employees were told to, quote, gather your personal belongings and exit the premises.
Usually used to be work on every day in, day out. Ain't nobody working, not a soul.
The Hispanic workforce is pretty much gone out here.
Our workers, the Hispanics, they will be up there. They don't want this to get wet. All those houses are sold, getting wet more than they have to and getting destroyed by the humidity. Well, they pay for them already.
This is not good. This is not good. I'm not seeing a lot of workers here. I'm not seeing a lot of movement going on here. This is not good. From a real estate standpoint, if you're already under contract for a property that's under construction, expect a lot of delays. And if you're looking for a new built property, expect prices to go up because there is a ridiculous shift taking place right now in the workforce. And unfortunately, that check is going to be passed on to us, the consumers. This is so sad.
So I still really don't watch the news a lot because that raises my heart rate. But I do, when I have time, I do go catch up about what's happening. I like to stay informed. I obviously get on this app and inform you all about what's happening. So I read articles. I keep up with things that are going on. I don't lose sleep. Do I think we're going downhill fast? Absolutely. It hasn't even been a month and this is nuts. This is insane. I'd be like, is this happening? Where are the people? What's happening? But I don't lose sleep over anything. But the thing that is stressing me out, the mass layoffs with federal workers. And I feel like people get it, but I don't think people get like where this is going and what the impact this is going to be. And it honestly really scares me because this is something that even if you aren't a federal worker, this is going to change our workforce and impact all of us. And it is scary to me. It's very, very scary. So a couple things. First off, I don't think people realize that our largest employer is the federal government. And they are telling them to leave these jobs where they're not super effective, that they're not doing anything, and go into the private sector, become entrepreneurs, and actually do work. I worked harder when I was working for the government, the state government, than I ever have. Because there's no money, so like they just add on extra duties to you. I got into the private sector, and they're like, "Oh no, we outsource that. We hire a company for that." So that's wild to begin with. Sometimes the skills and how you work in the federal government is not always transferable to the private sector. The pay that you can get in the federal government, that kind of like the system that feels like very merit-based, very fair in some ways, the grade system and those ranges, how they do all that, like all those things are very, very different. So as you all know, they offered them that out, which I thought was crazy. Apparently 70,000 people took it. A court said that they were allowed to do this, which is wild. I don't think he has the authority to offer anything like that. I think that really, especially the salary part, I think that really is, to me, that's a bill that should have been passed by Congress. It wouldn't have passed. But people took it. And then tonight they are doing layoffs, and they being Elon Musk, they are doing layoffs and getting rid of like probationary employees at these different offices. And so we are looking at a flood of people, like a mass layoff around the country that's happening right now. And these are well-paid people who have livable salaries who are going to flood the private sector. Now let's keep in mind this private sector they're going into. This sector, you know, we had the Great Resignation a couple years ago. I definitely benefited from that one. It was our market. They're still pissed about that. These companies are still mad that we ran up them numbers, that we were up here, you know, taking 3 and 4 offers and ignoring people. They're still mad about that. All right. And we are still seeing the impact of that. So they're doing things like getting rid of work from home, which in a lot of cases, including the federal government, this was an attempt to get people to quit. This was an attempt to get folks to quit. It wasn't about productivity. They want y'all to quit. Yeah, they want you to be so uncomfortable that you just go ahead and say, I'm done. Here's my 2-week notice. And so I'm looking at all this. I'm thinking about all the mass layoffs that we've had in the private sector. Chevron just announced that they're going to be purging 20% of their workforce over the next 2 years. The private sector does not have jobs for these people. Not the kind of jobs that have the salaries they have. So what does that mean? These people are going to be they're going to be underemployed. They're going to make less salaries and be underemployed. And somebody posted it, I can't think of her name. I can see her face. She's a sociologist that she thinks the goal is to drive down wages. But you're driving down wages, but you haven't driven down cost. So we're just going to force people into poverty. And everything about this says we are running headfirst into a recession. Because I don't think people realize one of the ways we stay out of recessions is through government spending. And so like when Biden comes in, one thing he does, he increases government spending. It's like an easy way to put your finger on the scale and to get us out of recession. That includes hiring people, all that government spending. I just sit back here and I'm like I said, I don't like economics, but I'm like, this is very simple to me. 1 + 1 does not equal good economy for us. And then if you're in the private sector, y'all, it just means that you got to hold on to these jobs. If you were thinking about, okay, I'm going to stay here for 6 more months and hop out after I get my bonus, I think we're stuck. I think we're stuck. I think the market is going to be severely flooded with these federal workers. This is insane, is all I can say.